Well, we are officially live. We are live right now on Twitch, live on TikTok, live and the title live on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and the live speaks for itself. The title MLB Baseball is back. Opening day is upon us. There's four things I want to go over in this live stream. I haven't been live since last week, Tuesday. That was my last live was when the USA lost to Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. I took some time, gathered some thoughts, organized myself on how I'm going to do my lives going forward, because the World Baseball Classic wasn't just a phase of, okay, we'll live stream the World Baseball Classic and then, that's it. But rather, this time was going to be something that I was going to really, the World Baseball Classic was just a catapult for me to really start live streaming a lot more. So all of you on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, we are here and we are here to stay, to move forward, and to make you have great experiences on this channel, YouTube, TikTok, this page, and for all of you to enjoy it. So, four things I want to go over. I've been saying I was going to do it, so I want to do it now. I'm going to talk briefly. I'm not going to take long because all of you have already seen why the World Baseball Classic needs ABS in that DR USA game. We're going to go to that. We're going to go to a short recap of last season, the World Series. I'm a Mets fan. As you see, it's the background Citi Field. I have the Mets game prepared. I will be streaming the first game Wednesday, as you see the countdown, Yankees and Giants. I will be streaming that, but I'll go more into that. We'll do a recap, but I won't go far too much into the Mets. It's going to be a general recap. I will talk about the first games, starting Wednesday, then Thursday, the full slate of games, and then I'm going to talk also, my raw emotions. I don't want to give any predictions. I don't want to give my emotions going into last year, the Mets game, but definitely the Thursday game when the Mets, their home opener is going to be versus Paul Skeens, who we saw in the World Baseball Classic pitching for US. And hey, the US, he did a great job for them, but the Mets are going to have to face him on opening day, and that's a tough task. But now the Mets will have Freddie Peralta going on the bump, so I'm excited about that. But we're going to go more about that Thursday. Thursday, the home opener for the Mets is at 1. We're going to be going live 12:15ish, 12 noon, New York, Toronto time, just to give time to really go on a full recap, and we're going to do the whole game. So let us go now with this into, the recap of last year, the recap of what was it that what was it that happened in the World Baseball Classic. Look, again, I gave the video live. I gave the words already live. I congratulated Venezuela. I was frustrated that the US lost, but when I thought more about it, Venezuela, with everything that country's gone through, and everybody all over the world's going through stuff, it was pretty exciting to see them win their first one, even though I was rooting for the US. And in case you missed it, I post on my TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, I posted my reaction to Bryce Harper's home run. I'm a little late with it, but I posted that reaction, and what a memory he left for USA fans in that game. So, look, the World Baseball Classic, first off, the Olympics in 2028, I saw some posts, DR and Venezuela have already qualified for it. So the Olympics is going to happen in baseball. And now, can I be honest? I think that is going to be insanely different from the World Baseball Classic. The World Baseball Classic is something that the MLB created. The Olympics is the Olympics. So adding baseball to it is amazing. So, of course, 2028 Olympics, the next time the World Baseball Classic happens, which I don't think it'll be 2029, but rather 2030. ABS needs to be in it. Why? Look, first off, the robot. Is it a guarantee that it's going to be perfect? Who knows? At this point, it's no. Imagine there's a game where ABS falters, where it just stops working. It's possible. Anything's possible. We've seen our phones lose service. We've seen blackouts, power outages. We've seen the internet go down for some hours. Imagine ABS going down. So for me, there's going to be some growing pains. But now, with it, some of the calls that umpires make, they heavily can affect a baseball game. They can affect any sport. And I get it. Even with ABS, there will still be mistakes. There's still going to be mistakes. But, for example, the World Baseball Classic needs it. We are seeing why the MLB needs it. Literally, there was a pitch right down the middle in a spring training game. Right down the middle. The umpire called it a ball. And they immediately did the head tap. When they did the review, it was right down the middle. So it's like, I don't know what's going on with the umpires in that regard, but you know, it's something that's going on. It's something that's happening, and it's something that's difficult. So the World Baseball Classic needs ABS. It needs it. Shout out to David, Brentley, and Chuko on TikTok that joined. The World Baseball Classic needs it. That call versus the DR and the USA, look, I get it. It's not only where the ball lands in the glove. I agree with that. It's not. But it was low. At least where it landed, it was really low. So, you know, it looked bad. Now, I watched throughout the whole World Baseball Classic, I watched more than 25 games, and I saw constant mess-ups, failure. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on? All jokes aside, I was just questioning, like, what is going on? So I'm showing you right now on Twitch, on TikTok. Well, on TikTok, I'm not showing it, but I'm showing it right now on YouTube, and also I'm going to show it to you on Twitch. This is ABS. ABS is when a ball is called or a strike, vice versa. Whenever the ball hits out of that rectangle that you see right there, whenever, that's a ball. It's a ball. Now, okay, very well. Umpiring is not an easy job. It's a very, very difficult job to be an umpire. Very, very difficult job. But with that being said, you know, some of the mistakes are just really bad. So what you see on the image on YouTube and Twitch, that's a ball. But we're seeing a lot of the umpires call that strikes. And that doesn't make sense. How is that being called a strike? But it's happening. So with that being said, you know, something has to be fixed. That's why the ABS is in the MLB this year. And we're going to see it. We're seeing it in spring training. Now, in the World Baseball Classic, it needs to be there because we're talking about some teams that they're not that good. Let's be fair. They're not that good. So the teams that are really good, of course, it still want to be fair for them. But imagine the teams that are not that good and bad calls go against them. So now we're talking about, you know, not only do those teams struggle, but now they're having calls go against them, and that has to be fixed. So The World Baseball Classic is not local. And I even saw a stat. The World Baseball Classic had more viewers than the NBA Finals. It's really big. So the World Baseball Classic is not just, local. It's all over the world. And I get it. Most championship series or whatnot, they're all over the world. But especially the World Baseball Classic, when countries are involved. People that are not even fans of baseball are going to watch it. So the World Baseball Classic needs ABS. And it needs it in the Olympics, 2028 and 2030, when the World Baseball Classic comes. If you're with me on any of these platforms, put a comment. Put a comment of what was one of the worst calls you saw. Maybe you have something in mind. For example, if you say the umpire Angel Hernandez, everybody knows him for terrible calls. All you have to just say Angel Hernandez, and people will laugh, people get mad, people that bet, people that do all of those things, they're going to be frustrated because he's a difficult person. I believe he's retired now, but with some of the calls, you're just like, what in the world is going on with that call? How could that be called a ball? How could that be called a strike? And it's serious stuff. So that's what I have to say. The World Baseball Classic, the Olympics, needs ABS. Oh, but it's gonna make the game longer. So what? The World Baseball Classic needs ABS ASAP. Olympics needs ABS ASAP. And of course, we're going to see ABS in the MLB this year. So let's hope that, it goes well. I believe it will. So far in spring training, I'm seeing it being really good. And, I believe it's going to stay well. And I believe it's going to be really, really helpful for teams. And it's going to change a lot of outcomes in ball games. So that's what I think about the ABS in the World Baseball Classic in the Olympics. Now, I want to do a quick recap of last year. So we know that the back-to-back World Series champions are the LA Dodgers. They are the back-to-back champions. And they beat the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm currently in Toronto right now. And being in Toronto, I had a chance to experience the vibes, the buzz from a lot of the, what they call them, Torontonians. And of course, Toronto Blue Jays, everybody in Canada is pretty much going to go for them because that's only, the Blue Jays are the only Canadian MLB team. They used to have the Montreal Expos years ago, more than 20 years ago, but unfortunately they closed down. I'm hoping they could bring the Expos back, a Montreal team, or bring a team to Vancouver. I would love to see that. Vancouver needs it. Vancouver had an NBA team. They lost it. Bring an NBA team, bring an MLB team there. I think it'll be really, really interesting. But let's see. So, they won the World Series, the Dodgers, back to back. The Blue Jays had it. I mean, the Blue Jays had that World Series. They had it. And they just couldn't seal the deal, unfortunately. So we know that the Blue Jays, they had it, but they lost. But coming into this year, now 2026, there's a lot of, how can I say, storylines. Can Aaron Judge step up? We saw him in the World Baseball Classic. Can the Dodgers be the first team to three-peat for the first time since the Yankees in 98, 99, 2000? Can the Blue Jays, were the Blue Jays on a Cinderella run? Or is this the team who they're going to be, a contender every year? The Mets, they had a great 2024, but 2025 was a collapse, an epic fail. Started off amazing. 21 games over 500, failed, and they have a whole new core. Pete Alonso in Baltimore, can they recover? The Red Sox getting pitching, getting better. The AL East is loaded. The NL West, the Padres, can they pass the Dodgers? Are the Dodgers going to win 110 games with the team? They got Kyle Tucker. So that's just bare stuff. Paul Skeens, can he make the playoffs for the first time with the Pirates? Because the Pirates made a few moves. So, we're curious about that thing. Shout out to Cincy beat LA 25. Man, if the Cincinnati Reds would have beat the Dodgers in that playoff round, that wild card round, I ain't gonna lie, I would have been hyped because look, the Reds. I was hoping. Look, shout out to the Reds. I actually, if the Mets, I'm a Mets fan. They took the spot from the Mets. They deserved it because they beat the Mets head to head. But if um, if they could have, how can I say? If the Mets weren't gonna make it, I wanted it to be the Reds. But man, I would have liked to see the Reds beat the Angels. What are your thoughts since he beat LA 25? I was surprised with Hunter Green. I thought he was gonna be more better against the Dodgers, and I'm disappointed with him getting injured, and he's out till, if I'm not mistaken, he's out till June or something along the lines of that. So that's frustrating. But there's a lot of storylines in baseball this coming season, so I'm extremely excited for that, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna give a prediction of what I think is gonna happen in the World Series. Not in this video, but in the days to come. I will be live streaming many games, mainly Mets games, Blue Jays games, probably Yankee games. But I don't want to just say them. I will be doing a lot of national TV games, so Sunday night games, Monday night, as many games as I could get to. I will be live streaming them. So we got Cincy beat LA 25. Dodgers going to sandbag like 2025. Lights too big for my Reds in 2025 playoffs. The word was Green was tipping pitches against the Dodgers in the playoffs, and that's really good points there since he beat LA. Hey, I was happy for the Reds, and look, they got Suarez, right? So, and we just saw what Suarez did. So, look, the Reds should be another team competing for the wild card, and they, gonna have experience. They got what, Francona coaching them, so they're gonna be a good team. They're gonna be a team. I'm not gonna say a 95 win team, but could they surprise with 86 wins? They won 83 last year. So, and man, tipping his pitches, wow. That happens a lot. That happened with what, Devin Williams against the Mets in 2024. It happened with who else? There was a pitcher, man. I can't think of the name right now, but there was a pitcher. I just can't think. It's happened with many pitchers, but it happens a lot. So I'm excited for this baseball season. Now I want to go to the first game. The first game, let's go. It is gonna be this Wednesday. New York time, 8 p.m. Central time. I believe Cincinnati time is going to be 7:05 CT. West Coast time or Mountain time, 6:05. Pacific time is going to be 5:05. Yankees and the San Francisco Giants. Max Fried versus Logan Webb. That's going to be the first game. And can you believe that game is going to be on Netflix? That game is going to be on Netflix. That's unbelievable right there. That game's going to be on Netflix. So, I'm a little curious how it's going to work out because look, shout out to Alejandro there on TikTok as well. I'm a little curious how are the broadcasters gonna be, because I've heard some games with certain broadcasters and I'm just like, damn, yo, like they make the game really boring. With all respect to them, like I'm gonna be doing my broadcasting, my live streaming, and I know that not everybody's gonna like my presentation or the way that I announce it, but I've been getting some good feedback from people like, Sammy, yo, you make the game entertaining. One of my colleagues, they told me, a friend, I don't watch this sport, but because of the way you're announcing it, I'm actually enjoying it. So, I'm curious how it's gonna be on Netflix. Hopefully it's good. I will be streaming that game, the Netflix game, and you see, shout out to ING Giuliani Romero on TikTok that joined. On TikTok it's not showing, but the countdown for that game is 1 day, 21 hours, 8 minutes, and about 50 seconds from that game, which is going to be happening. So I hope it's going to be a good one. Now, in terms of the presentation, it's going to be baseball, so everybody's going to be hyped. Everybody's going to be watching it. But now, the next day, which that day, the Wednesday game, I'm gonna be starting the game a little late because I'm gonna be at baseball, so I'm not gonna be able to officially get there. So, I'm gonna be doing that late. Now, the next day, Thursday, is the official opening day, and I'm gonna go through all the games that are gonna be happening on Thursday. So to start off, I will be live streaming this game, and this is gonna be an amazing game. Paul Skeens versus Freddie Peralta. New York Mets, Pittsburgh Pirates. As you see it there. Let me focus my camera. My camera keeps losing focus on YouTube. Let me see there. So, that's the first game. Mets Pirates at 1:15 Eastern time. That's New York, Toronto time. The White Sox, look, early interleague play because of the new rules that have been implemented for the last 2 years. This is the third year, if I'm not mistaken. The White Sox versus the Milwaukee Brewers, 2:10 Eastern time. Let me give a quick one to, not in order, but for Cincy beat LA. The Cincinnati Reds, they are going to be playing the Boston Red Sox at 4:10 New York time. That should be 3:10 Cincinnati time, Cincinnati, Ohio. The Washington Nationals are going to be playing the Chicago Cubs, 2:20 Eastern time. Minnesota versus the Baltimore Orioles, 3:05 Eastern time. Los Angeles Angels versus the Astros, 4:10 Eastern time. Detroit versus San Diego, more interleague, and we've seen a lot of interleague. 4:10. Tampa Bay versus St. Louis, 4:15. Texas versus the Phillies, 4:15. And Arizona versus the Dodgers, 8:30 p.m. That's going to be on Peacock. So that's different as well, and if you're in the US. And Cleveland at Seattle, that's the last game for Thursday, 10:10 Eastern time. And all of this is happening this week. Now, the Blue Jays game, I will be doing the Blue Jays game the Friday because not every team is playing on Friday, but that Friday, 7:07 Eastern time, I will be doing the Blue Jays game. They play on the next day, the Friday. So, I'm extremely excited about baseball. I'm extremely excited about these games, and we're going to be live streaming a lot of these games here. Cincy beat LA on TikTok. You have a prediction for what do you think is going to be the record for your Reds this season? What do you think? I'm going to go 86-76 for the Reds. I'm going to go with that prediction. They're going to go 86-76 this year. What's your prediction for them? Now, this is the last part that I want to talk about. I've already spoken about in the beginning ABS, why the World Baseball Classic and the Olympics needs ABS. I spoke about last season, some storylines, some of the playoffs, the World Series. I just spoke about the games that are happening this Wednesday. The first game, Yankees Giants, and then Thursday's schedule. I talked about Friday. I'll be live streaming the Blue Jays games. Now, I just want to talk about my emotions into the game of baseball. Like, I've been a big fan of baseball for more than 25 years of my life. And from tears, tears of frustration, tears of seeing your team lose year and year again, I've told myself sometimes, yo, that's it. I'm going to stop watching sports. Not just baseball. I'm going to stop watching sports, or I'm going to stop being a diehard fan. It's not easy. It is not easy to not be a diehard fan of a team that you grew up watching. I think the only way I could do it is just don't watch. Don't watch. Cut off all connection with them. That's different. But if I'm even watching 1 inning, 2 innings, it's like that attachment comes in. Like, damn, yo, I want to see them win. I want to see them get the W. So, I think about that stuff a lot in that regard. But hey, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But I'm just excited because, look, the emotions of this is that baseball's back. We had the World Baseball Classic where it came early. So I've been training. I'm training. Season coming. I'm coaching. content with baseball, and now being able to watch it. We're gonna have baseball literally Wednesday. From Wednesday, you can say till November, straight baseball. And that's good. We're in March Madness now. If you're a basketball fan, college basketball, we got the NBA season's about to end. What, 12, 13 games left? Then we got the playoffs, which we're going to be covering the playoffs. We got a bunch of baseball, Then, before you know it, football season's back. And my wife, my biggest fan, is talking about baseball because she's a Blue Jays fan. You know, I'm a Mets fan, so we got to find a way to make it work. But the only person she likes from the Mets is Lindor, Francisco Lindor. So got to make it work. But hey, we make it work. But it's just exciting, you know? It's exciting because you're going to be able to watch baseball. You're going to see ABS. You're going to be able to see calls and hope that they can be better calls being made. Excited that you can be able to see, you know, things happening. Excited that you're going to be able to see, you know, the drama, the raw moments, the walk-offs, the pitching stars like the Mets. I'm a Mets fan. We got some news today. Carson Bench made the team. Whenever I see a rookie make the team, I'm extremely excited. I'm happy. Why? I'm happy because you're seeing a young person make their dreams come true. You're seeing that. And who I'm happy about that. I know there's people that they're not happy, but I'm happy. So the storylines for baseball are unbelievable, and I am extremely excited for what is about to go down. So I would like to motivate all of you, whether you're on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're watching. Maybe you're watching this via the rerun. You can feel free, you know, to, how can I say, you can feel free to subscribe, like, leave a comment. You can feel free to, you know, be a part of this channel, because I believe that you're going to have epic moments on this channel. I believe that on this channel, you are going to have a lot of moments where you're like, wow, I'm really glad that I was able to be a part of it. Like, I spoke to one person that they told me on this that they were happy that they found, you know, my page or whatnot. And you can imagine how happy I am to, you know, find out somebody being happy to find this page. So this is it, folks. We're getting ready for baseball. We're going to be doing more live streams, especially for the Mets. We're going to be covering the Mets in a different way, like we haven't covered them all year, giving a ton of reactions, giving reactions about a lot of teams. We're going to be going over standings. We're going to be going through stats. We're going to see MLB predictions. Very soon, we're going to be having collabs on this channel. We're going to have established people joining the channel, interviews. We're going to have people that are new and upcoming joining this channel. We're going to have giveaways. We're gonna be having sponsors soon. And I believe that all of this is going to be something that you are going to want to be a part of. As you see there on the live stream, the live stream is better with you. So my emotions, I am extremely excited that baseball's back. And hey, baseball is my favorite sport, so it is going to be absolutely amazing. All right, so like, share, subscribe. We are close to our first 500 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate it. Couldn't do it without all of you. On Instagram, we're growing. On TikTok, we're growing. Twitch, and all of you are a big part of this journey. Now, my last thing I want to say, actually, I want to be successful. Say it again. I want to be successful. But listen, I want to see you be successful. I'm going to say that one more time. I want to see you be successful. Because, of course, I want myself to be successful. I want to be successful. But part of my success is to see you be successful. So No matter what's going on, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how challenging it is in life, do not give up. Because when you give up, you know what happens. Nothing good, because you gave up. But when you don't give up, this doesn't guarantee that everything you want in your life will come true. It doesn't. We don't have a lot of guarantees in life. We have a lot of faith, optimism, beliefs, etc. But what I will say is, when you don't give up, you are giving yourself a chance to make it. And look, I don't know if this is a good comparison, but I'll say it. If you never play the lottery, just an example, I don't play the lottery, but if you never play, are you going to have a chance to win? No, because you don't play. But now, if you play, do you have a chance to win? Yeah, your chance of winning may be absolutely tiny, micro, miniature. Yeah, but you have a chance. You have a chance. So don't give up. While you don't give up, you have a chance. So shout out to everybody that's on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. We're going to be finishing this live stream. Get ready, because we are going to be having many live streams of the MLB season, NBA playoffs soon. And this is another thing that we're going to have to manage. Friday, St. John's is going to be playing Duke in the Sweet 16. I'm going to have to do that game. I don't know how I'm going to balance that game and the Blue Jays game. We're going to find a way. I don't know how, but that's a game that I'm probably going to actually have to prioritize. So, folks, it's been a pleasure. Sammy, Higher Expectation Sports. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and you can be a part of my journey. The journey to move forward, to succeed, but at the same time to see you succeed. Until next time, we're going to catch all of you, and I am extremely excited. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.